Welcome to our journey through one of the Bible's most visually intense books, the Book of Ezekiel. Known for its wild imagery, prophetic visions, and powerful messages, Ezekiel challenges and inspires us with themes of judgment, restoration, and hope. Our story begins with Ezekiel's incredible calling. In chapters 1 to 3, Ezekiel, a priest living in Babylonian exile, receives a jaw-dropping vision. He sees God's throne on a chariot supported by 4 strange creatures with wings and wheels covered in eyes. Through this vision, God shows Ezekiel his divine glory and authority over all things. Ezekiel's mission is clear: warn Israel about its sin and call them to repentance. Next, in chapters 4 to 7, Ezekiel begins his task with symbolic actions to communicate God's message. He lies on his side to show the siege of Jerusalem, shaves his head to symbolize the people's fate, and even cooks with unclean fuel. These acts depict the coming destruction of Jerusalem as a judgment against Israel's continued idolatry. In chapters 8 to 11, Ezekiel's visions dive deeper. God reveals Israel's corruption through images of idols and unholy practices right in the temple itself. As a result, Ezekiel witnesses something heartbreaking: the glory of God leaving the temple. This symbolizes God's absence from his people as they face the consequences of their choices. Chapters 12 to 24 focus on individual responsibility and moral accountability. Ezekiel shares several parables, like the pot of boiling meat, to warn the people of Jerusalem's looming destruction. Through these chapters, God stresses that each person is accountable for their own actions. It's a call for personal integrity and faithfulness. Now Ezekiel's message broadens in chapters 25 to 32, as he prophesies judgment on Israel's neighboring nations, from Ammon to Egypt. This shows God's sovereignty over all nations, not just Israel. Each one will answer for its actions. Finally, a shift from judgment to hope comes in chapters 33 to 39. God calls Ezekiel a watchman, warning Israel to turn from its ways. Here Ezekiel shares some of the most famous prophecies of restoration. God promises a new heart for his people, a renewal that will bring them closer to him. In the vision of the valley of dry bones, God breathes life into scattered bones, symbolizing the revival of Israel. In chapters 40 to 48, Ezekiel sees a vision of a new temple. This restored temple reflects God's future glory and his promise to return and dwell among his people. Each tribe receives a piece of land, symbolizing a re-established kingdom under God's blessing. The Book of Ezekiel is a profound mix of warnings and promises, despair and hope. It shows God's intense love for his people, even in judgment, and a powerful promise of restoration. It leaves us with a reminder: no matter how far we stray, God's desire is always to restore, renew, and dwell among us. If you have any biblical questions or topics you're curious about, please comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content.